We have the right to the pursuit of liberty and happiness and life. You motherfuckers.
All right. I'm going to start with Tony.
So
May have a little howl later on if we do. He's starting with something really good.
I'm telling you.
That I kind of like too. He's
you,
talking about the fact that DeSantis is a fucking
of this shit for them to take away the entire Second Amendment.
And just the whole Republican Party.
I'm telling you.
They're doing the ultimate in being bigots and hateful, and I don't understand why, but for some reason our media is deciding it's going to say, "Okay, fascist, let's go."
It's time.
Okay.
Motherfuckers, stop fucking around and
we're going to just give it a little face, but we're not going to actually do anything about it. We don't really care.
Families in this country that make God.
We don't give a fuck. We just don't.
We're
just going to keep going as if it's as if this world is the exact same.
What we can and can't do.
As if they're not doing this shit that was already tried in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s.
To lobby and pile money on these politicians like Greg Abbott
doing this
is going to work. And
I kind of got to ask, why do we keep repeating ourselves?
Especially when Greg Abbott has to use his statement to put out a reward to find this motherfucking scumbag who killed this family because he had access to a weapon that he should not have had access to.
Again. What is it with our, for a group of people who prides ourselves on the fact that we've now become data movers and on-off switchers. For those of you who don't get it, most of us spend our day either switching data to one place and moving it to another, or we turn switches on and off and move shit when we're doing it. And you don't believe me, but that's basically what we're all doing. We're all just moving data or dirt. And we're turning switches on and off because that's all we do. Even the computer you're on is a bunch of switches that go on and off to produce this. To produce what used to be a line of just going down a wire. That's all it is. Turning it on and off lots and lots of times to get to where we're at. But the unfortunate part is we've all of a sudden turned our world of doing that into this world of stupidity, where literally you're taught shit and you ignore it. You're shown shit and you ignore it because white? Why?
Why do you think that person was able to just kill this family? By the way, it sounds like there's evidence that that's all bullshit, that they weren't illegal immigrants.
Nope. Probably not.
The woman that was killed, the mother, was here legally. You fucking bigot.
They probably were working
motherfuckers.
Yep.
It's the same stupid shit they did in Nashville when the shooter turned out to be a trans person, and oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's the gun, dummy. It's
always the gun.
Fucking gun.
Always the gun.
Nowhere else in the world does this shit happen. Nowhere. Nope. Doesn't happen. Not a thing. There's mental issues.
Oh, I know.
In other countries.
All right, screw it. We can start early because I was late coming in here because for some reason
and if you're not self-aware enough to know that everyone has mental conditions at some point in their life, you really need to have your head checked. It's the same idea when you have a person who's against red flag laws. You're the person that needs to be red flagged. You're the person that needs to be red flagged.
What the hell? Oh my God, I'm so sick of this damn thing.
That's right. I said it. Hey, 2A bros in the chat.
One screen.
You aren't speaking up this morning. You must smell what I'm stepping in.
Oh my God.
if you're against red flag laws, which doesn't red flag laws like bare minimum doesn't go near far enough. Honestly, I've said this on the show here recently.
Is nothing more than good
to come and get your fucking guns.
And most people don't understand
one of them. March into
and
your
boy,
house,
do we
break
need
down
some
your
more
door,
of it
and
because
take the
some of the programming coming out now
you
sucks.
and melt those motherfuckers down.
We're on the cusp of a good chat GPT.
It's enough of this fucking stupid garbage.
And I mean
it's enough of this dumb narrative. It's enough of the stupid fucking white gun culture. I don't care what color their fucking skin was. It's white gun culture.
I like jazz compositions, which I would just call instrumentalism. But we'll table that for another time.
God.
And if you don't believe me,
since we have to label everything these days, because
it's from Greg Abbott.
Because isn't that what life is all about? Refining your label and making sure it sticks. Hold on, let me
where they're
open
from, their heritage, their fucking
ancestry, look at you lovely folks.
Their race. He has to dump it into the message where he's trying to apprehend this criminal-ass motherfucker who should have never owned a gun, and the only reason why he does is because of Greg Abbott.
Sorry, 7.
Downstairs,
I said I wouldn't yell, but I can't fucking help it. I can't help it.
Maybe this is what we're doing for 50K. It's just I'm wearing less clothing. By the time I get to 1 million subscribers,
the thing that's wrong isn't wrong.
Thank you very much. Anyways, so where were we? Oh yes, so Johnny Million and I hanging out and making music together is now a thing in Hi Chat Room. Welcome everybody. We've hit 50K thanks to you folks. I'm very excited. I'm not quite sure what we do as a celebration. I think the celebration for 50K will be the kicking off of the shorts. So other people would have done it in reverse, but the idea.
You're not paying attention. Even people
stuff that I can
who want to own
bridge off of this. So that was our line where maybe the ad rev kicks up a little.
They're tired of it. And they're gonna
that might help pay for the service that does the cutting and the slapping and the.
I'm calling on you.
In there, no Twitch chat. There's Twitch chat. I see Twitch people in there.
To move to the table.
I do not wear shorts. I'm wearing.
To stop
I'm wearing
this fucking nonsense.
Sorry. You are hearing it.
Sweat.
Okay, sorry. This is so annoying.
Because the only reason why we're still doing this is because the gun lobby pretends that you're somehow the majority. And you're not. You're fucking not the majority. You're not.
Here we go.
You are the minority ideology on guns in this country. And someone questioned me in the chat if it was white gun culture. Wow. You goddamn right. Wow. That's what it is, motherfuckers.
Thank you. Thank you. This is why I love Tony.
It's the guns. Because it's like it's the motherfucking guns.
And the fact that he's doing
this, and the justification of it is white gun culture.
White gun. Thank you.
Fuck you. You can do. Oh, you can cancel me. Go for it.
I love you. Thank you.
Go for it. Blast it on the internet that I said it was white gun culture. Fuck you. That's what it is. This wasn't the culture when I was a kid around guns, and I'm white and I lived in rural Missouri.
Why are you paused?
We didn't own guns to
keep my leg
protect
like
ourselves from our
They said something about how like if you can determine
that's not what we did.
Now I'm Captain Morgan. There's nothing there holding my foot up. I'm just saying that being able to balance yourself on one leg is indicative of it. Basically, if you can't do it for, I don't know, what it was, 20 seconds, your chances of dying in the next 10 years are like 50% higher. Yeah, the balanced physicality. Yes. So I'm able to do that. Yes. Thank you so much for the 50K, you guys. I wish I had a big 50K graphic. We will have that for 100K.
We got to the 50K. Cool.
But thank you. So as Joe Biden would say.
It's much longer. It's just not.
Yeah. Sorry. Hal, wear shorts. Wear some shorts, Hal. Show some legs.
Kids being shot on front porches because they rang the wrong doorbell.
Thank you.
Opening the wrong car door. Are you fucking shitting me? Pulling in the wrong driveway.
Thank you.
Honking your horn at someone in traffic.
I'm impressed. It's good. Especially considering your situation.
It's the guns. It's the guns. It's the guns. It's the guns. It's the guns.
I'm sick of the shit.
Thank you.
I'm sick of the stories. I'm sick of hearing about it.
So just before we get into either one of them, I just want to just rant right quick on what's going to happen all day on TV. Because it's all going to be about First Republic Bank and J.P. Morgan buying them. And how it's the wrong story. It's completely the wrong story. Because what they're trying to do is make it like this bank going under is something that you, the average person, should be worried about, because all banks may have this issue. All banks may go under. Well, no, not even close, because the first thing you have to understand is, no, it's not all banks.
I'm going to reach out and see if she'll come on the show.
Right off the bat, it's not all banks. It's not even all commercial banks. It's not even any commercial banks. See, the story is, in order to get an account at First Republic, now I'm not sure if it's still that way today, but it used to be, back in the day, when I was working for a large firm in San Francisco that had a private client division. For those of you who don't want to know what a private client division is, it's been closed at most of the equity firms because it had a lot of, shall we say, money laundering going through it.
Marianne's not a corporate apologist.
But in order to actually open an account at what used to be Golden Gate Bank here in San Francisco, you used to have $100,000 to open the account. You must maintain $100,000 in your account to maintain your account.
Russell Brand and Jimmy Dore, they're multi-millionaires.
Yeah, that's not something that the everyday consumer who gets their account down to $2.35 is going to have a problem with. The reason J.P. Morgan was able to buy it is because they probably put most of the money that was propping it up. Because J.P. Morgan's going to take most of the brunt of what happens to that bank because it's not regular equity. It's not you and I putting our paychecks into it. It's a bunch of billionaires, a word we should never even know of except for as a, wow, that happened for a millisecond to one or two people.
Her second book.
And it was only their net worth. It never was anything that they had.
Oh. Yeah, that's going to happen.
It's a bunch of billionaires' money. It's money that was not coming to you, not coming to me. It literally does help in our economy. I'm not going to argue because it actually runs a lot of our private equity. So companies like the one I was in, totally funded through that kind of system and could have gotten started up and made it to a business. Problem is a lot of that money's disappeared because, ooh, you know, when the when the .com thing came along and everybody thought we're going to make millions off of it, and then it blew up. Crypto blew up. Private client blew up. Equity blew up. Well, it keeps blowing up because the systems that we had originally that worked pretty well, not perfect. You know, the Glass-Steagall and things like that that separated out these little things and said, hey, yeah, you can play with your money, but you play with it over there. That market now does that, and da-da-da. Part of that is why First Republic can go under. Today, it's still not as it wouldn't have gone under the old system. That's just as simple as that, because it would never have existed. Something like First Republic and all the rest of them would have been too big, and that's the problem. We've allowed antitrust and all this other shit with the Fed and everything else to get a banking system that's just too big. And everybody's well, it's global. It's global. No, computers make it global. I'll give you that. But it doesn't mean we should only have 4 or 5 companies that control everything. That's stupid. That makes no sense. And also, since everything's transitive, no, nothing you're doing existed 1,000 years ago. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, nothing you're doing today existed 70 years ago, more than likely. Sorry, it just was a different life just 70 years ago. When my mother was 10, 13, 14, she was a teenager.
Carlson or Jordan Peterson or somebody, that where they're coming from.
When you were still worried about if the radio in your car had tubes and you blew a tube because you went over a goop too hard.
I'm a closeted glam vestite, as many of you know. When
nothing is the same. Everything changes every day. And we either change it for good or we change it for bad. And in some cases, we go through a lot of bad. And First Republic is really a bad way of doing banking and a bad way of doing finance, where we've gotten into this system where we make sure that everything is inflative. When it used to have, there used to be deflation. If you actually understand the study of economies and how we used to go through this, we've decided we don't want to do that anymore. How much longer can that last, too?
Well, hold on. I'm going to get distracted.
Where we have these years like 2008 where it's massive crashes that come back down instead of slow deflation that really barely is noticed in some cases. If you look at the history of these things. Yeah, 300 million people is different than 76 million people. The population of the United States in 1900, when 50% of you made your money off of farming. 123 years ago. 1/3 the population of the population that's here now, and almost half of you, 49%, made your living off of some form of farming or agricultural production. The rest of you were starting to become things like clerks, accountants, bookkeepers. See, as banks came along, it used to be that everything that we are doing by these computers was done by bookkeepers in big books. Then you cannot have the freedom to nothing like today. See, that's why every time these people keep screaming this bullshit where they keep going, oh, jobs, 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 jobs. Are you shoeing a horse today? No, you're not. Yeah, you're probably still not making enough money. I'm not going to argue that when you were shoeing that fucking horse. Unless you owned the blacksmith shop, you probably didn't make enough money. Simple as that.
In the case of Marianne,
you really didn't. No employer really wants to pay. It's just something that we actually, through laws, have said, this is the way we want our society to go. And there's always been a good group of people who've said, no, that's not what we want.
Like Medea Benjamin, I suppose, and that crowd where they're, people who say, and again, this is not about people who use the universe as a placeholder for the word God or that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, we've always had these rules and regulations that said, this is where we want to go. There's always been a group of people who've said, no, we don't want to go there.
Throwing a bit in the mouth of their religious beliefs and riding it into town. Biden stole the show.
And we've got to fight those people. That's all that's all we're saying now.
Really good stuff.
But the entire system of banking
rock solid.
Has become part of what an ultra-capitalist system is, where you have control by a minor group of a masterful amount of money. And unfortunately, not always does that small group know what the fuck they're doing.
Nor will I.
And sometimes they shouldn't even be doing it at all. Just saying. Sometimes. Sorry, I just want to get my rant out about the fact that all you'll be seeing today is crap about First Republic, but nobody will tell you that we actually need to. Well, people like Elizabeth Warren are trying to tell you that that there's a reason for some of these systems to be put back. Telecommunications Act. That would be nice to be put back. Because I would love to see that you can't just go and put a server on the internet and put anything up you want to put up. That you'd have to follow certain guidelines for truth and making sure you're not spreading lies. Or if you are, that it's actually noted. This is not something that's actually something we can put forth as being completely true. But we don't have anything like that. Because we've decided that the lie and being blue, I don't know.
And in that process, you can believe whatever version of that you want.
I don't know. It's just something. I don't get it. I don't get why we're allowing the bullshittery of white supremacy and fascism to totally take over this fucking country. It's a bunch of old white men screaming, "Get the fuck off my lawn." And we need to start slapping back and saying, "Fuck you." No more guns, no more of this bullshit like we saw on January 6th. That's terrorist and fascist actions where you believe. That's always been my problem with all this bullshit too. Is this bullshit about I believe. Believe means I don't have any fucking proof. I believe means I can't prove shit and I'm lying to you. That's what that fucking means. Sorry. Nope. No believe.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Show me some fucking proof that something was stolen from you in some fucking way, shape, or form. Show me proof that the fucking doll sitting on the other side of the goddamn room choked you to death. Because it didn't. Show me proof that Ben in Arizona living with Sam fucked up your life in Tennessee.
Yes, because only men need them.
Where's the fucking proof? Oh, it's a belief because of children, but you're just full of shit. It's about a bunch of old white men who want to control bullshit that they don't need to control anymore. It really is that simple. And these guys are just saying the same shit.
During the trial where he's being sued for defamation. You stupid fuck. Of course, the judge is having none of this.
Oh, thank you, Trump, for losing.
Taco penis.
Keep losing. Do
I get that right?
I love the fact that you keep losing.
I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. He writes a strongly worded letter.
That's another conversation for another time.
To the judge.
The sort of froofy.
Why didn't you file a motion?
You are not.
Why didn't you file a motion?
From these, like,
I mean, I'm not a fucking attorney. I'm not an attorney.
A pocket full of roofies.
Far from it, right? Frankly, I've been on the.
I got my 30-minute rant out. But
listen,
it's just today. Listen to everybody.
That your best opportunity
because
to
get off the TV. All they're going to talk about is bullshit that's not going to happen for 18 months.
Not just send a strongly worded letter.
Because, well, Biden is not giving us our tax cuts. Even though he's giving you a lot more. He's giving you twice the number of people who can buy your fucking product. Doubling your profits. But you're too fucking stupid to see that. Because it's always about your taxes. Not about how much money you can make if you had enough people that could afford your bullshit. Again, stupid white men having control of shit they shouldn't have control of. Just saying.
Yeah, it's not gonna go well for you. It's just not. It looks like it was about an hour ago, I guess, or so. I don't know. I lose track of time when I'm putting the
show together. Isn't that the truth?
I'm trying to keep up with.
You're looking at all this stuff, and you just go, "What the hell?"
Judge Kaplan is the judge who is the presiding judge over the E. Jean Carroll rape case. Denied the motion for mistrial from Trump's attorney.
We'll go to hell in a minute. I just wanted to get my rant out of the way and just see what Tony and those guys are talking about.
His attorney. his attorney.
Maybe I'll fill in a little bit more in a minute.
The allegations were in the letter. Trump's attorney, Taco Penis, alleges that the judge is biased.
Yeah, the judge is biased.
Eugene Carroll is the defendant, and in the law,
the Darwinists,
especially during a defamation trial, you can't go on to continue to defame the person who is
or whatever. When they try to manipulate, they try to neg women into sleeping with them. This is all from the dude's standpoint, ladies. I'm sure you have a version of this around you or whatever, where it doesn't really. There's no root to any of it. You know, you treat everybody like fucking leaves, and they're like, I don't know, we're all gonna be dead tomorrow. You're gonna age, you get all wrinkly, and they start negging women to sleep with them. It's the same shit, same kind of person, just a different tack. And some folks start genuine, and then phase into the sales pitch full of shit version later when they become disillusioned with their actual belief system, but their entire identity is built on it. So they still maintain that veneer. And this is like faux conservatives who are, couldn't find, tried to fight off their gay nature, or tried to fight off their,
in other words, DL'd and couldn't handle being real.
Anti-monogamy tendencies in that regard, and then get caught, and then whatever,
and marry a woman,
or just
and
curve out because they're so
and all
pent
this
up.
Shit that you,
in the same way that there are these hippie folks that ultimately become kind of nihilists or borderline Ayn Randian or Darwinist, but their entire structure to the world for years, for decades, like Russell Brand, has been sold on this kind of hippie idea. And, they still smell like patchouli, and they still wear, the fucking navel cut long shirts, right?
Patchouli oil. Yes, I'm showing my 70s.
They don't really believe it if you listen to how they talk about it. Log cabin Republicans. Well, log cabin Republicans, I think, would be people who have found their way to be honest about operating within that self-structure. They're honest about their sexuality. They're not hiding it like,
I found that most of the log cabin Republicans,
they were saying North Carolina or whatever the fuck.
In line with,
sorry, Anna is what on TYT
what
right
I would call the bigoted faggots.
Fainting, right? Oh,
sorry.
Okay.
Some of the biggest bigots you want to meet are gay men. Peter Thiel. He is not an anomaly. As they say, it's not a bug, it's a feature. And too often I have found people like Thiel are all over the fucking place. Oh yeah, they're gay men, they're out, but they're no more or less bigoted than any other fucking white man. I mean, literally, when they literally will say shit to your face like, I don't date blah, blah, blah. I don't do blah, blah, blah.
Of whatever your peg point is for your belief system.
Yeah. It's not 1964. Yeah. It's still today in 2023. We're still hearing this shit. So every single one of you who doesn't understand why I keep screaming, why is it not one of our fucking media can ask, why is it okay to be a bigoted piece of shit in 2023? That's all I want you to do. You don't have to ask with the piece of shit, but I just simply want a seriously answered question. Why is it okay for you motherfuckers to be bigots 24/7? Why is your bigotry and hate and anti-science the way America should go? I just want that one question answered. I want that from every single GO. If I could, that would be my one question. And what they're going to say is some form of, well, I'm not a bigot, I'm not hate. Then why is everything you fight for a bigoted piece of shit? Taking stuff away from people, making sure women don't have any rights, making sure people are slaves to corporations. Pretty hateful. And when you do it in a way where you actually take minorities, quote-unquote minorities, or people who have a lesser percentage in your group of people, and say, no.
Lack of spiritual system where you believe there is no fix.
It's the unfortunate fact that even in those minority groups, look at Asia, look at so many other countries that also have a white supremacy problem within those groups. Because it's all over the place. It really is. It's the unfortunate fact. But, oh my God, why is it in this country it's all about just this one group of people who believe that these white men should have everything just the way they want it, even though it makes no scientific sense?
I happen to think in the case of
None.
Trump, for example, that he always
there is no reason abortion should be illegal. None whatsoever. Sorry, the zygote is not alive yet. Especially at the ages and months that you guys have decided the restrictions must be.
Because he has contempt for all women.
See, because the problem is, if you are willing to really say you are pro-life, then you care about the whole life. That means start to finish. That means the shit that you're doing as far as, let's see, Obamacare? No, we wouldn't have that. What we would have is a national health care system that would take care of everybody from birth to death, no matter what your situation. And we could afford it quite easily. See, what you do is you get rid of maybe 2 of those warships. You get rid of 10 or 20 of the tankers that we don't need. You get rid of a few battalions that are no longer necessary. You take just 10% of the money we waste at the Pentagon and you put it into health care. Meaning you take care of the fucking kid from beginning to end. And you know what else just that little 10%? And if you take 3% more, you could do? You could take that fucking kid from birth through their fucking masters without fucking taking a dime out of their pocket. Could you imagine an entire society of hundreds of thousands of people so well educated that we have doctors and lawyers and scientists all up the yin-yang? You know, like, a few of those European countries where you go and you get your college degree for free. Just saying.
But I saw the seeds of that.
I'm sorry, let's go back to
how dare you? Like, question, a woman sold, she made, $12 million on her first book. I'm sure that's a huge ego boost. I will say, though, that after I beat out 5,000 people for Talk Soup, went straight from that to Dude, Where's My Card, Queer as Folk, and got a civil rights award for that, and then ended up on Lab Rats and I Love the 90s, which is in everybody's living room, and was the first interracial mother-father relationship on an American sitcom that wasn't a second-tier character.
That's right.
That's right. I got a lot to be proud of in my career, and I am.
Thank you.
But at no point did I think it made me better than anybody else, except skill for skill. Right? I don't have a problem with challenging somebody's skill for skill, but it doesn't make me inherently better than anyone else.
Oh, thank you.
If that makes sense. There's a difference. Like if somebody plays piano better than me, I am more than happy to give them those accolades. And they are more, and I think it's charming and fun if they're like, wish you could do this, and they fucking, you know what I mean? If they went at me like Chico Marx, I'm like, all right, I get it. Right. It's amazing. I appreciate the effort you put into that. I'm impressed.
I cannot do that.
But on an esoteric or spiritual level, that doesn't mean they're better than me or I'm better than them because, well, I may not know how to play piano, but at least I'm humble. Which is there's a lot of that shit floating around in the faux spiritual world.
Thank you. So, faux spirit. Thank you.
Speaks to your
faux
motivation.
Spiritual world. Thank you for calling it that.
Like there's always something new to learn. There's always something new to do.
It's not reality of being
smartest
spiritual.
Person on media. Yeah, but that's Javier. That's a low ceiling, my friend.
God, that is so funny.
So, anyways, when it comes to specifically those that overlap their religious beliefs or their spiritual beliefs, or indeed their Ayn Randian, Darwinism, which I would say, Rand Paul and his father and a few of their sort of more libertarian offshoots, although they can't get very far in the Republican Party. In terms of those folks, there is a consistent aspect of their character that I see. And I'm curious, as we watch the primaries play out and how they have to answer to some of this stuff, that these folks inherently believe in their superiority over other people.
Thank you. Okay, so it's not just me.
Thank you, Godfrey. Again,
I keep saying the same shit. And I think when you hear it from people like Hal, and you hear it from people like Tony,
their worth, whether they'll tell you that outright.
I've noticed that people are actually saying,
they believe it.
Okay, I get it.
And you can tell by how stupid they think the general public is most of the time. Anybody who sells you that the American people are dumb, or the people of the world are dumb, or people in general are dumb, or you can't trust anybody, they sell these kind of broad swaths. It's really not about the average person they meet. Because if you really believe that, can you imagine what a prick you would be in public everywhere you go? You wouldn't be able to make any friends if you genuinely believe that, because you would, unless you were a master grotesque manipulator, which there are very few. Because you couldn't.
There's a few of them out there, though. I won't argue that.
And I mean, you could argue that there are some people that are helped by media, and therefore they have a transactional relationship with the public, like Trump and other folks. But in general, there's a feeling that they have that they're better than you, and you can tell because there's no meat on the bone of their suggestions for stuff. Like they'll talk about things like forgive all student loans, or they'll talk in broad swaths like that, like universal health care. But they won't talk about
how you get there,
how they're going to pay for it.
How you get
and
there.
This is where like Bernie gets caught in the reeds, and why his people turned on him is because he recognizes the cost, and he recognizes that a lot of great change is incremental and all that kind of stuff. Once you get into that, they'll turn on you. And in the case of Marianne and Russell, they talk about what's wrong with the system all the time. This system is broken. The whole goddamn system is what's wrong with things. Yet they live and thrive within that system. They stand on top of it, and it is the only system heretofore that humans have come up with in the case of
that system.
Democracy.
I'm going to switch back because Gabe just came on, so let's see what they're talking about.
For the American people, not for fucking banks. This isn't good for First Republic Bank. This is horrible. First Republic Bank. Frankly, there is going to be no First Republic Bank.
No, it's gone.
It's going to be J.P. Morgan. And the reason why
again,
is because
First Republic is not somebody you should be worried about. In order to open an account at First Republic, you could not walk in there with $100 check.
You know the other thing that
just believe me, you couldn't.
None of these motherfuckers, because they keep talking about they compared this bank crisis,
not crisis,
back to 2008. They keep
it is not.
Yeah, not comparable because the system is actually doing what it's supposed to do. Right. So we don't have to half-ass bail them out after our fucking entire economy collapses.
Correct.
Now,
I mean, that's assuming that nobody, repealed certain regulations that were put in place after 2008, right?
Well, actually, that's the reason that those two banks have gone down because of Trump.
Every bad policy is a Republican policy. Is that what you're saying? But
forgive me, but for those of you who don't get it, that's the other thing I did not say in doing all this stuff this morning. Well, I did. I screamed it earlier, but just in case you're not clear on the fact. In case you're unclear on the concept, First Republic and Silicon Valley did not have the assets that they should have had because they were no longer required to, because Trump pulled back 2/3 of what was needed. But he wasn't able to do it across all the commercial banks. So he was only able to do it against the investment banks, Silicon Valley, First Republic, JP.
Agreed, and he's turned on her as well. And Katie Porter.
I'm trying to think of
Jimmy started hating on Bernie when he supported HRC. Well, that's because
Schwab and those guys. I don't think so, because I believe Schwab and most of those guys, because if you look at Robinhood and most of those guys, they are what you would call consumer banks. So in other words, you can bring in $100, $1,000. So it's not like a First Republic. But remember, First Republic and these guys, like I said, when First Republic, which used to be what's called Golden Gate Bank in San Francisco, and the reason I know about Golden Gate Bank is it's a bank I had to go to about twice a week to make a deposit for our company. Yes, our account was at Golden Gate Bank because you had to have $100,000. And that was what you are told very clearly when you go in to do your banking for your boss. Yeah, don't bother. You don't make enough money. Your boss barely does, but his company might. And that was basically the way First Republic was. Yeah, when it was Golden Gate Bank.
Yeah, like, oh man,
because that's who bought
what you're doing.
First Republic bought it.
Those things as if, and here the other thing too is like, to the degree of which that happened. Obviously, that it's been some time before that, but it was a bit different. I mean, our economy works in an ebb and flow, right? That's we can't ever get too big and we can't ever go too low. Like we are going to. There's going to be growth, and there's going to be
what used to stop that in the old days was that the amount of equity was not much higher than it was before. It's just that you could not be a regional bank. In other words, you could not. You could only be a regional bank. You couldn't be a national bank. And that was the changes that happened.
So that when
we allowed the banks to go national because
it goes down.
It's all over the globe,
right? Or like a low point doesn't get too.
We started out with just letting them own other banks.
So certain things
in the
like
other regions,
and
then you notice all of a sudden they just said no, and all of the names changed.
Let the market
so that you only had Wells Fargo,
it's like, no, we
Bank
can't
of
do
America,
that because there are certain actors who are bad actors, and they're going to take advantage of the system. And they're going to fuck things up, and we've now seen that.
Well, this morning, all the right wingers and a lot of the what they claim to be free market capitalists. Right?
No,
they're like, whoa. There is there's no freedom of choice in your bank when J.P. Morgan's going to buy you. The reason why J.P. Morgan, the government is turning to J.P. Morgan, because they have a shitload of capital. I don't know if you. They got a mountain of fucking money, and they can handle it. And actually, honestly, this morning it's apparently J.P. Morgan is announcing they're going to turn profit on this. They're going to turn profit, and everyone's like, "Well, I don't want to be a J.P. Morgan customer. I want to be a First Republican Bank customer."
I'm going to say something right now. Florida, I don't. What is wrong with fucking Florida? This ghost pop. I'm asking for a friend. So Florida does all this stupid shit. Doesn't dot their I's or cross their T's. Gets outsmarted by Disney, who not only crossed their I's, dotted their T's, but said, "Hey, we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. Hello." And now you're going to sue Disney and waste more goddamn taxpayers' money. They're full of shit. I'm sorry, forgive me. Is it just me, or what the fuck is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you people that you would allow this man to do this much damage in your fucking state? The insurance rates are so fucking high that people are literally unable to move there because they can't get insurance. Yet DeSantis, because bigoted. Woohoo!
Thanks, Susan.
Bigotry! Woohoo! Yay! Hate! Woohoo! Yay!
It's true.
Protecting kids? No, you're fucking not. You're being just bigoted white supremacist assholes. That's all you're being. God damn, don't you see it? Because nothing he's doing is actually fixing anything in the goddamn state. Are you not flooding? Is your insurance really low? Are your schools really great? The kind of schools that people move there for? Or are you just a retirement community? Are you just the East Coast Rossmore with a bunch of old, angry white people honking their Cadillacs all over the fucking place? Forgive me, but it's just beginning to sound like that.
How much you okay.
Then take your deposits and go somewhere else. The good news is the government made sure your deposit is there to take somewhere else, you fucking idiot. What? I just don't understand. And again, I get the markets and I get the investor side of it because they're really upset about the selling and buying of their
well,
fucking
they're also
bank.
probably, I mean, like, here's the other thing, too. Like, obviously, the FDIC insures up to $250,000, right? And most normal people, yourself, myself, other people watching, probably don't have more than that.
Whoa. You mean you don't have over $250,000 in one account?
In one account?
No,
exactly. Most of us, even if we have $1 million, it's not in one account. Literally, you'll have a mark. If you're even, like my mom, retirement. She's got her retirement account.
Never mind. Long story. Anyways,
with just over $100 and some odd $1,000 in it. So that's insured for the full $250. Then she's got her actual account for the houses.
I didn't turn away from her.
That's insured too. But none of the accounts would be more than $250. And that's kind of the way that they made it. It used to only be $100,000. For those of you who don't remember, it used to only be $100,000. And at one point, it used to only be $40,000. That's right, $20,000 and $40,000. When it first started, that was it.
I worked and helped, and
so $250,000 is a hell of a lot more than it used to be, and that was the point. Is that it's always gone up and made sure that it's been in line with what most people keep for retirement.
49,001, 249,000,
and I have them split up between 20 different
and a savings. You got to check
20 different. I got fucking credit union banks. I got large banks.
You can have $1 million as long as you got it in 4 different accounts.
I got mattresses.
Probably going to be covered.
Are the couch cushions and the mattresses all FDIC insured as well?
Right, exactly. Just FDIC insure everything. You make sure that it's all there.
So I just figured they were insured. I don't know. The most that I've seen is that on the tag, it's like if you remove this, then it's by penalty of law. So I don't know. Maybe those things are connected. Not really sure. But you have all these Republicans, just like normal average people, right, who do not have all of that. Or that amount of money in a bank.
They don't have anywhere near that. They barely have enough money to open an account at a regular bank, much less this bank. This is a super bank.
Split it, invest it, put it somewhere else, and not put it all in one.
It's so funny because now the other thing I see all the time is I see these Fisher investment ads. Not sure if any of you have seen them. They're pretty much on every single news organization's cycling now. What's funny about those Fisher investments? Another company that was started up that way. I literally set that company's pan system up. They have dual pans that sit in it that used. Well, I don't know if they're still there anymore. This is years ago, but I set this place up when they were in Foster City. Their main call center was a bunch of floors in Foster City where I set up a pan system and a SAN system for all their database systems so that they could hire, what was it? I think 123 call people. And all they were doing is calling people who had $100,000 sitting around for investments.
Everybody, like a lot of the volunteers, except for maybe 2 of the older ones.
You heard me right. They hired 149, almost 250 people back then to cold call people that had $100,000 back then.
I realized at one point because my buddy Rob had
late 90s
system and I was helping him
to just put into Fisher investments.
To kind of keep myself afloat. I never waited.
That's the world we're living in.
And then I
where we literally talk about a bank that none of us could afford to actually go to, at least most of us sitting here talking in these three audiences. The 4,000 to 5,000 people listening and watching on these audiences. I can guarantee you 99% of you cannot afford to actually open an account.
But also, you have to understand that all of those people who are complaining are nowhere near the people who are the ones who took advantage of the situation, right? Who were, working with Thiel and wanted to short Silicon Valley Bank, or tried to
Peter Thiel,
obviously short the market and take advantage, and then still get like double dip, take the money out. Then it's a whole thing.
If you think for a second that it isn't big investors that made a bundle on this, because here's what's happening this morning. Here's who's really pissed off. It's the investors, because here's the facts. 84 First Republic branches are now JP Morgan.
Right.
They're safe. All the First Republic deposits and plus their mortgages and the loans that they hold have been assumed by JP Morgan.
So they took everything. They took the debt too.
It's insured. That's the whole point of the FDIC. What is not wiped this morning is that First Republic Bank's share value is nothing.
It's
zero.
Right.
And that's who's really pissed. But hey, man, that's what investing is, motherfucker.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And when you go into the
before
bank
Glass-Steagall was taken out, that's what it was. It was a separate piece that you did separately, so that the bank could actually say, yes, this portion of the bank is that. But the rest of the bank? No. Nothing to do with that.
Is we have the ability to put serious people in place that make sure to hold JP Morgan in check. And if JP Morgan isn't on check on these deposits and these branches and these mortgages that they're buying, then we can force them to sell them. That is the whole fucking point here, is that this morning the markets and companies aren't freaking the fuck out. I mean, the people who are invested in First Republic Bank are a little pissed off this morning. But
the
hey,
market doesn't care. Market's up.
Market's
up 117 right now.
I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You took bad bets.
I'm not sure who the hell is really like.
Look, you're talking about legalized gambling, and they took bad bets.
Again,
fuck their deposits.
Like I said,
all my money.
First Republic is not a commercial bank. It is not your Bank of America.
I never got it back.
It's not your Chase.
It was on their property.
It's not your Wells Fargo, even though those are way too big too. Yep. No. It's not that. It's what we used to call a boutique bank, made for the billionaires and millionaires who have $100,000. To just send
after I broke up with my group, after they
you literally invest and maybe even lose.
They thought I had.
That's the kind of bank that is.
Development deal with Universal.
Just reality.
When Universal had told me personally, we're going to we want you, we don't want your group. And I said, I don't come without my group.
The economy was much different than this time.
And
completely different.
I didn't tell the group that because I wanted us to keep swinging.
Different marks on the economy. It's just not the same. But the point is that they did it then, so that way in the future, when it happened again, and banks, there was a couple banks that made bad bets in the economy, they weren't properly managed, then hey, we got you covered. Don't freak the fuck out, because I don't know if you remember when Bear Stearns
does not look like the market is even the composites.
I mean, everyone woke up like, what the fuck? The market tanked. Everyone's running around with their hair on fire.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because I was looking
Nobody's
back. I'm
running
doing
anywhere.
What was that on Joe Biden and Roy Wood Jr. at the White House correspondent.
Oh, good. We're gonna watch a few of those clips today.
And I went.
Oh,
back
cool.
I was like, there's
but
clips
I will not be with you
down.
guys.
Like
I think I finally figured out what I'm going to do is 9 to 10 every day.
And just fucking
just after everybody comes on, just do a quick put my 2 cents in, because this is what it's going to be for a little while. And then finally, maybe eventually get to the point where I'll do another hour, and I'm going to put that up on
Wall Street.
Patreon.
Like I used to work
later.
at.
But
I think
we're going to build this up a little bit.
I think she did work at Lehman
We're going to keep going.
Yeah, and she goes.
But for
and
today,
like,
I
basically
think
like that's the actually believe me, like I've been fucked before. You know, like it happened there on Wall Street. Like that was the last time that men went down on me without my consent. Right, like just the whole thing, and it was like none of the Republicans in there were laughing at all. Like a lot of people who were able to take the joke.
Republicans laugh.
I know. They're not one to take it, but they love to dish it. And when I say dish it, I mean like bully and bigot and be racist. You know, kind of like
run around with Nazi flags.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm America.
And I think it's good. It's America first. That's what it is.
You guys got to be able to say what you want. But however,
why is it when there's a war in Europe
that makes boo boo? I'm hurt.
The America First people just seem to scream forward.
We need a safe space, as Marjorie Taylor Greene says.
Who really don't care about America First.
Nazis.
Oh yeah, with a capital N.
A capital N.
Yeah.
So I showed this yesterday on the Patreon Sunday rant. Okay. And this guy shows up again.
Just a few more.
What the fuck is down his face?
Oh my.
Is it like a lightning bolt?
That's like I don't know what the hell that is, to be quite honest.
Because like when people get like when they have like an electrical burn mark that happens,
that's what it looks like.
Well, it looks like a branch, like
right.
You'll get, like yeah. So when I see that on the top side of his face, it looks. I mean, it's probably not. It's probably something racist. Who knows?
Well, they're all with masks and hoods on.
Remind me of like a electrical like burn mark.
Screams white supremacist
shows
idiots.
itself on your body.
Now this guy's name is I think his name is Chris
Racist O'Connor.
Racist O'Connor.
Paul Haast. His nickname is Hammer.
Oh boy! Here comes the hammer.
Oh fuck!
Oh god! Here we go.
Man, you couldn't project any more fucking little dick energy.
Thank you.
Like Hammer.
Thank you for calling it little dick. Little dick energy. Not. Thank you. Little dick.
Hammer, bitch. You're the nail.
Wee dick energy.
What?
No, I didn't. Speaking of which, I just learned. This is for everyone else out there. I didn't know. Maybe you knew this. So you know when you have a hammer, right? You got the flat head and you got the hook end.
I've used a hammer before, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I've never used the hammer this way until I saw a video, of course, on fucking TikTok, where you learn everything these days. Mm-hmm. You use the curved end that you'll typically like retract the nail from to hold it. The initial hit in.
That I never knew one that. Way. That is one.
That is one way.
I was like,
some framing hammers have a magnet
on
the head.
On the head, where you actually right in the notch where you just go boom.
Some people are good enough; they can actually hold the nails in between.
Yeah, I mean, I hold the nail and I hit it. I'm not going, But I saw
these guys who do.
Are you serious?
Oh my god!
I could have been doing. I'm also kind of afraid.
Just use a nail gun, like when they're
now,
science and shit.
Now, especially if you've got a Ford F-150 that you can plug in and put your compressor on.
Let me show you this video.
Your full 250 compressor.
It's going to look very similar to a video we showed a couple months ago.
On its own, Columbus, Ohio is definitely. So I had a buddy,
looking like another place not to move to.
Columbus. And we were driving through, and this is like the first time. This is I know. Honestly,
Patrick on YouTube says, "Oh boy, carpentry tips by Gabe." That could be a new segment.
I just want to say, I bet you Jesus Christ didn't even know that tip. Okay. I just want to say that, okay?
Suck it, Jesus.
Yeah, suck it. Okay, if I have to be, 30 and just realize how the fucking not just use the end to retract a nail from the wall, but also use it to set the nail.
You're a carpenter?
Okay. You know what? Water into wine. I'm fucking Jesus Christ.
Oh, goddamn. Anyways, your friend in Columbus. Sorry, didn't mean to get sidetracked with the carpenter job.
He moved to Columbus, and as we were driving in, because it was me and my buddy that were coming in to visit him, and they came into Chicago and they did a road trip to go pick up some remaining stuff from the old house. And we were driving into Ohio, and they were like, "Hey," because this is the first time I'd really been in Ohio. Previous times I just flown in to visit family, and they're like, "Hey, just so you know, you're going to see some stuff as we come from the outside in to Columbus, like from the outside."
Stuff?
Yeah, stuff. Like you might see, I don't know, he's like a burning cross somewhere, or you might see like, random racist type of decorations.
Wow.
Say, right? And we saw some stuff, not any like burning cross or anything, but they were like the last time we came through here.
Surprising.
They were there was some stuff that was off the highway that we saw. It was like, whatever. Anyway, point being, the history of Ohio and it being racist is definitely like ingrained in it. So to hear that there were Nazis in Columbus, Ohio, not surprising at all. I'm sure they just
you did not see that coming, but you did see that coming.
I did not see that coming, but I also did not see that coming.
I see.
Right? And so
I did not see that coming.
They, like Children of the Corn, they fucking came out of the crops because they're like, oh, you know what that is? We got to go after those trans gay people. Got to go after those minorities.
The funniest part about this is I'm gonna show you this clip.
Yeah,
and I want to warn the audience. It does have swastika flags on it. There is Nazis, but it actually, to me, it's kind of hilarious. And here's why: is because it's a bunch of fucking grown ass men in costumes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Chanting and kind of singing in concert to protest a costume show. It's really fucking kind of weird that, of course, they're trying to hide not only their faces with masks, but they got gloves on. They got
Did you see the ones in Boston this weekend? The Patriot Front?
No, I didn't see. Well, I saw some clips of Patriot Front.
Find it.
Pull that up. Pull those Nazis up too. But here's the Nazis in Ohio. And you're going to see a little Dick Hammer guy here. Just a second. But you notice they're all hiding their faces, their eyes, their hands. In full cuck regalia here. Here, at a freeze frame. Okay,
is that a white sock in there?
Dude didn't even wear black socks, man. He wore white socks. Are you fucking kidding me, Hammer?
If we're gonna wear
the really fuck of sock. No, man.
You know what? So you know what? So you're.
Okay. I like the fact that they're ripping him to shreds on stupid stuff. But what blows my mind is that these people.
At first glance, if you have tatted your face and shaved your head and dressed like this, there's probably a good chance that you're a dumb fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
If you dress like this, shave your head, and have a tattoo on the side of your face like that, you might make that assumption.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that you could do is listen to shit he says, not just yelling and screaming in front of a costume show where he's dressed up in a costume to protest
a costume
show. But maybe the shit he says on
his First Amendment rights as a white boy are just 100%, right?
Sure there's a lot
but that drag show's First Amendment rights are just bullshit.
Yeah, Nazi Hammer. Here is
what?
Here he is on a
think about that a minute.
Here he is on a podcast somewhere, I think, or something. And listen, he's talking probably.
Let's go to the end because I'm just about to end on
I think I found it. It's actually all right. So there's a thing that's called, and I don't know which one it is because there's so many different versions of it. But
sorry, gone over a lot more than I wanted to.
It's the Imperial Fascist League, possibly.
Oh, wait. What did you say? Imperial what? I thought you said fascist. Is
I said
what you're saying?
No, fascist with a hard F.
Oh, okay.
Fascist with a hard F.
Fascist. But there's also one. There's oh my god, it's like, man, these people who make these
flags. I'm going to let you guys go.
Wait. You think this guy is a creative individual?
No. There's another one called the Coalition of the Willing to Power. Well, hold on. Let me look this up.